I was researching on the internet, and you can find anything on the internet, the rules for a great retirement speech. So these were quite, they kind of fit right into what I thought it should be. Rule number 1, keep it short. I saw some of the people in the back kind of nod and say, please keep it short. Rule number 2, thank Nancy always. And I'm thanking Nancy and her team for this great event. Also thank everybody for coming. I thank you all. Introduce your family. I'll get to that. Tell a few stories about Evan and Seth.
It's not in there.
I'll get to that. And last but not least, I'll thank you and say good night. We'll see how I do. I found a great quote online that said, that kind of fit me perfectly. It wasn't that I golfed every day in DCN, but it seems to be. There are some who start their retirement long before they stop working. Just think about that. I took that very seriously. Evan had mentioned in the past that he thought not only being elusive, but was I really working? And I was sometimes, I guess. I have been blessed with a wonderful family. I want to briefly introduce them. They're sitting up front here. To my wife, Lee. A quote I found says, a retired husband is often a wife's full-time job. I believe that is going to be a fact. I'll be honest with you guys here. We're negotiating the terms of my retirement in the Kaeding household. I've told many of you tonight it's not going well for Kevin. In fact, it's going very badly right now. I want to introduce my daughter Amanda and her husband Jay. Just wave. My son Ryan and Claire, and my son Nathan, and my son Austin. Sitting in the back, who was supposed to be sitting in the front, is my sister Christy and my brother Greg. To this day, they still have no clue what I did at DCN. My brother was inducted in the Softball Hall of Fame a few months ago. One of the greatest things I've ever heard was a gentleman got up and gave his acceptance speech, and he had 2 words to it: thank you, and left. So I thought maybe I could try that here, but Lee said maybe just have to say a couple more things. I'm grateful for my in-laws. I have a pitchfork, some clothing. I'm going to come and help at the farm. You guys understand the limited skill set I bring. I am who I am, and I'm not sure I'm not going to fall off a grain bin in the farm. I'm grateful for many friends that have came tonight. Friend in the back is a friend from Fargo, Mayor Seminary, and his wife Deb. Thank you for coming. David, Bonnie, other friends that have came. I really appreciate it. I'm grateful for the customers who have came this afternoon to the open house and tonight. I, being in the sales side, and my team and all DCN, have thanked you for challenging us to be the best that we can be. Sometimes I had to find my t-shirt that Jen gave me and try to use some appropriate language on our customer base, but I do appreciate you, what you brought to DCN. I look throughout the venue tonight and I see so many industry partners. I thank you for being who you are, what you brought to DCN. You are part of our success over the 20 years that I've been here. I have just a couple of stories I have to tell about our DCN partners. The SDN folks are here. Mark Shalanta and his team, JJ, Ryan Hunt. We have traveled to Las Vegas. We've traveled to San Francisco, Miami, Washington, D.C., many other locales, and have spent a lot of time together working on technology, trying to figure out what technology is going to bring us around the corner. I thank you guys from SDN. Other industry partners, we have Pam from Inventus CCI is here. I had never had heard of loon juice before Pam introduced it to Mark and I at a RV golf event. We thank the RV folks for being here tonight, Tom and Pete. There's so many other industry partners here. Dean is here from TechMD, and everybody else that I'm not speaking about. But I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm grateful for the DCN owner companies. You are represented here tonight, and I appreciate you coming. You, and I'll talk a little bit more about it, are the reason for our success here at DCN. I just have a couple quick stories. Rhonda and Paul were wondering what exactly I was going to say about them. They're SRT employees. Back in the first few years of DCN, Warren Height, our chairman of the board at that time, said, Evan, we got you covered. You need to, well, if Kevin ever sells a circuit, we can implement it, and Rhonda and Paul will help. I remember the day Evan came to me and he said, time for you, Kevin, to drive up to Minot, grab the binders that tell all, and relieve Rhonda and Paul from doing the DCN provisioning. I got there and they handed me about 4 binders, and then they high-fived each other. And I said, what the? And Rhonda said, you know, just study it and give us a call if you have any problems. Yeah, they knew what they were getting into. A lot of the other DCN owner companies, the sales team and I, we gave Carl Blake a call and his team, and Brooks and Dean and everybody else that's here from our owner companies, Kent from DRN, everybody else is here. We always taught each other, ask them if they have time to take our phone call. Do you have a few minutes? And each of them would say, why? Then we took that as, well, maybe they didn't want to talk. But thank you all for everything you've done from our owner company standpoint. I'm grateful to the board of directors at DCN. There are so many boardroom stories. Of course, what happens in the boardroom of DCN stays in the boardroom. From Warren Height, Dave Dunning, Paul Schnitzler, Jeff Olson, and all the board members, you have meant so much to me in my career. I am grateful for the DCN employees. Don, we shared a lot of stories today at work about maybe Kevin and Don should have had a cuss jar. We were very passionate. We wanted DCN to be the best it could be. There wasn't one time that Donald did not step up for me and my team. I thank him for that. Lucky, thank you for coming tonight. Many times Lucky would look at me and said, I think we could have done better, Evan, at DCN. But he's here, we're going to train him exactly how we should train him. There are many stories about Lucky, Lucille, we used to call her. And she says, if you don't be nice to me, I'm going to bring Kip to work, and he's going to have a talk with you. So we never got that far, but thank you, Lucky. The DCN employees. Just a second. There wasn't ever a day that Kevin was successful. There was every day that DCN was successful. And it's because all and every DCN employee made it work. We had young employees, older employees, all employees work for the best of DCN. I know a lot of us are in the industry. A lot of us understand that, you know, to make DCN work, it's a collaboration of many, many companies and many, many people. And for that, I thank you. The best arrow in my quiver at DCN and our sales team's quiver was our employees. Funny story I always used to tell Mr. Redson, our DCN NOC manager. I said, Greg, Jesse, Tim, you are our best team of salespeople we have at DCN, and all of the NOC technicians, and you were and will be. You are our first line of defense for our customers that are calling in, usually calling in and needing some help. And there wasn't a day that you didn't try to fit that need as quickly as possible. And you were and are the success of the sales team. Evan, you were very kind in your comments. And I will be too. Evan alluded to the fact of the many lunches that we had, talked about DCN. I remembered it pretty closely to how he remembered it. He showed me the business plan that says DCN was going to be a carrier's carrier. I'd leave the lunch and I'd say, what? What would that possibly mean? He says, 15 independent telephone companies working together to build the very best network in North Dakota. A network that would put all other networks to shame. A North Dakota network that's envied nationwide. I'm thinking, really? Are you nuts, Evan? But it's turned out to be true. The early years were interesting for all of us at DCN. There were many moments that we had a whiteboard. Evan would be drawing something on the whiteboard. Don and Nancy and Lucky and the team at the time, we'd all be looking, expecting great things to come off the whiteboard. And we'd leave disappointed, and we'd start over the next day. He said to me, and he alluded to the fact, he said, Kevin, we have no revenue, and we have a huge amount of debt. Why would you not want to join the DCN team? And I'm sure glad I did. There were a few stories about Evan that I found hilarious. Evan drove with Kevin driving one time in his career. Well, he was a little bit concerned with driving 15 or 20 miles over the speed limit, using my left knee to steer and having the map out and saying, I know where red light is, Evan. I do. You got to take a left somewhere here. He never drove with me again. To this day, I'm still amazed. There was a story one time, I called it the Great Mustard Explosion. Evan and I, and over the years, we both forgot who the hell else was there with us. But we stopped in a small town after visiting Reservation Telephone and ordered a great big cheeseburger, and I said, Evan, hand me the mustard, will you? Yeah, go ahead. And I pressed the mustard, and it didn't really do anything, and I pressed it again, and I pressed it harder, and all of a sudden the mustard top comes off and explodes, and the mustard landed on Evan. His glasses, his hair, best yet his entire shirt, his pants, and also the food that he had ordered. Evan always had an expression where he'd kind of look over his glasses. He'd look at you and you'd say, but he had to take off his glasses because he couldn't see with the mustard there. And the ride home was fairly quiet at the luncheon expedition. So, Evan, I just can only say a few words. Thank you for hiring me at DCN. Now we have Seth, so, my current boss. I remember the story of Evan saying, hey, there's this guy in Consolidated Territory that is bright, a go-getter, solid human being, great family. He says, I think we should hire him. I said, I think we should too. The best thing we ever did at DCN and my sales team was having Seth join us. There are many stories of Seth and the team being on road trips, going down to visit SDN, going to visit other owner companies, having a good time, bringing DCN to the best that it could be. Over the last few months, I think Seth has said to himself, how long is this party of retirement for Kevin going to last? It's going on for years, he said. He said, everybody else retires in 2 weeks, and we throw them out. He's hanging on way too long, but I thank you, Seth, for your leadership. Where is he? There he is, thank you. Your leadership, your times we had meetings with customers where the rest of us would come out of a customer meeting and say, uh-oh, that didn't go so good. And Seth would see the light at the end of the tunnel. And he'd say, you know, I see an opportunity here. And he says, I know all of you and I can work this opportunity and make it a successful opportunity. It's happened time and time again. I thank you, Seth, for your leadership. I will miss you tremendously. DCN and our owner companies have built a network that is the envy of the United States. There isn't a week that goes by that I don't talk to an industry partner, a customer that says, your owners have built 45,000 miles of fiber in North Dakota, and our owners in a year or two will be 100% fiber to each chicken coop, each cow pasture, each house, each business in North Dakota. We are, and you have built the envy of the United States in a fiber network. This company called DCN exists because of your collaborative efforts of everybody in this room today. Collectively, DCN has done amazing things. Visions were created and completed. Goals have been constantly met and exceeded. New goals have been set each and every day. Future challenges will be met with professionalism, enthusiasm, and prayer, I believe is going to help us later. DCN owner companies have built this network along with the DCN employees. DCN is in great hands moving forward, and I will miss you all. In closing, Lee and I are looking forward to our retirement with us and our families. I will truly miss all of my friends in the room. You are friends I made in the business world, but look forward to building our friendships in the next segment called retirement. Thank you very much.